scene, it seems to be relatively divided between the younger and the older audience.
Well, it is now, yeah, of course, because a lot of the younger people have never seen the old bands back in the day, of course. And I think, a lot of them probably, I don't know if they like the older bands better or the new bands, but, it's a relatively healthy scene. After 40 years, it's amazing that anyone still wants to listen to it at all, isn't it? Loads of music's have gone by the wayside, I mean, I remember liking 50s rock and roll, which I still do, of course, but in the late 70s, there were a few rock and roll bands still around. Fucking hell, trying to find a proper 50s rock and roll band is really difficult. You get a load of old white blokes playing, or young white blokes playing blues, but getting a proper rocking 50s rock and roll band, really difficult to see them now. What I'd love to see is a load of 15 or 14-year-old kids walking down the street all dressed as teddy boys. I think that would be fantastic.
That would be lovely to see.
It's one of those things, it just doesn't happen. You might get a kid whose dad used to be an old Ted or something like, or grandson now.
Yeah, grandson.
But I mean, the punk thing just keeps going on and on. It just fucking seems to never die.
Yeah. That's, I think, a beautiful thing about punk is
it's a big family now, isn't it? It used to be back in the day, everyone thought we all were great mates and all got on. Well, that's rubbish. People were getting, a lot of the bands at the beginning, and don't get me wrong, maybe if it happened to me, I would have been the same, but I've never been in a really big punk group. I mean, the thing is, they were all stabbing each other in the back and going, oh, no, you got a front page of the enemy and we fucking didn't, and blah, blah, blah. And this camaraderie thing is bollocks back in the day. It's much more camaraderie now.
Yeah. Well, now it's more almost back to the DIY ethos for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's more underground than ever, isn't it? I mean, it's ridiculous that punk, being as influential as it was, only gets played on mainstream radio if it's an acceptable track like Eloise by The Damned, Baby I Love You by the Ramones. They never play anything by the Sex Pistols, They might play Golden Brown, they might play Rock the Casbah or Should I Stay or Should I Go? And it's like an embarrassment. Look at something like Glastonbury. Where are the bands who've been around for 40 years ever asked to go and play that? It doesn't happen.
Not the punk bands.
No, because it's like, we don't want the dirty punks here still. That's still, a lot of people still have that attitude about it.
But yet at the same time, when the Olympics were in London, they used 2 Sex Pistols songs, which just blew my mind because...
I mean, yes, of course. I mean, you all hear Sex Pistols songs. You going to some restaurant somewhere, like a chain restaurant, and you go, fucking hell, there's a Pistols song on. This place is full of families and that. Yeah. I remember sitting in front of the TV when they were on the Today programme, watching it, and I loved it. My mum and dad going, oh, that's disgusting, them swearing. Fucking great, Absolutely brilliant.
Did your parents have a problem with you being into punk?
No. They were happy that I'd found something I wanted to do because I got expelled when I was 15 from school. And I've just always drifted about. I never really worked. I got sacked from this and I couldn't settle down and doing anything. So the first thing that I'd done that I actually enjoyed doing was when I joined the Lurkers in 77 was play music, and that's what I've done ever since. Virtually, I've hardly done anything else. I had a few jobs. I mean, I can drive horses, which, if you don't know what that is, I mean, they call it driving a horse. I've done awesome wagon rides and things at Hadrian's Wall for a couple of years, and I can do that. But jobs, no, I don't live in. As the Ramones said, I don't want to live in a 9-to-5 world. It doesn't suit me at all.
Yeah, and this life does suit you.
Yeah, of course it does. You can get pissed. You only have to work for an hour. The rest of it's just hanging about and having a laugh with people,
just going around and talking to people and having a good chat.
It's great.
Yeah. Where's been the most interesting place you have ever played a gig?
Well, I suppose somewhere like Argentina and Brazil and Japan, but we've done some really funny gigs in our time, as you can imagine. Like weird places out in the forests in the middle of bloody Switzerland, and we've played a blacksmith's forge, in Germany. It's a fucking punk gig. Yeah, put it in a forge, But yeah, I mean, Brazil, you know, obviously, you know, being a third world country, which they shouldn't be, because they've got some of the most riches in the world. It's just exploited by the West, you know, for all their riches that they got there. And the people are still sleeping on the streets, and there's a massive amount of poor people there. It's awful to see that, and there's a lot of thalidomide still used in Brazil. Never see, you know, thalidomide over in this country was like you'd have to be about 55 now. Most people who were mothers were given it for help with pregnancy, but it's still used for other things.
Still use that there.
Yeah, but it's good for certain other things. The only trouble is you might get a lot of kids, which you still do, who you know, who are born with no arms and stuff like that. There was a great program about it. A guy called Matt, who was a great drummer. He had arms to about here, but he was a fantastic drummer. He used to play for a band called Living in Texas back in the early 80s. And he drove a great big Cadillac car, and he became an actor. And he'd done a great program about thalidomide still being used in Brazil. We saw a lot of thalidomide in Brazil, a lot of terrible, terrible poverty. And you know, you get to the gigs and we don't take our own gear, and all the gear's absolute shit. You know, you got the drummer. And I was like, oh fucking hell, here we go again with a spanner and a screwdriver and trying to, make the kit playable and stuff like that. But you know, it's all experience. It's good. You know.
Where has been your favourite place to play then?
Well, I prefer playing in Britain, just purely because, you know, the British sense of humour for me, you know, you can speak to people and muck about with them and they understand what you're on about. Well, most of them, unless they're particularly sort of not very bright, but you know, some people don't find humour funny, do they? You know, especially mine anyway, regardless of that. But you know, I prefer playing in Britain. But I speak German quite a lot. I played a lot in Germany. I don't mind, but I just don't like the great long drives all the time. So, you know, these days we don't really go on tour for any great length of time because I drink too much. And after being 61 and getting pissed from more than about 4 or 5 nights, I've just had about enough of it then. Half my life ago, I'd do a 40-day tour with no days off and be drunk all the time.
Every night, yeah.
But, you know, I just can't do it anymore. And I've done it for 40 years. So, you know, everyone slows down a bit, and that's what's happening to me.
Just slowing a little bit.
Well, you know, I still like a drink, but I'll go home and not have a drink for 4 or 5 days in between gigs. It doesn't bother me.
Exactly.
But when I get near a gig, I want to have a piss up, and, you know, that's what I do.
So we can expect to see you happily pissed on stage then?
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
But the one good thing about having massive feet is they don't fall over. Because they act like snowshoes.
Yeah.
They act like snowshoes, you know what I mean?
You're not easily tippable.
That's right.
And I think on that note, I will let him get so that we can find out if he's tippable or not.
Well, you're not stopping me.
No, I'm not. And thank you very much.
No
I
problem.
appreciate it.
Okay, that's great. No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.